The Mercedes-AMG G63 isn't just a luxury SUV with a loud exhaust. It's basically a high-performance V8 power plant wearing a boxy suit, and the heart of the modern G63 is AMG's famous twin-turbo V8. In most 2019 and newer G63 models, the engine is the AMG-built 4.0-liter V8 known as the M177, and it's designed to deliver huge torque instantly, even though the vehicle is heavy. This is a 3,982 cubic centimeters V8 with double overhead cams and 32 valves, and it uses twin turbochargers to push more air into the engine so it can make big power without needing massive displacement. One of the most important design features is something AMG calls the hot V layout. Instead of mounting the turbos on the outside of the engine like older designs, the turbochargers sit inside the V between the cylinder banks. That shortens the exhaust path dramatically, which helps the turbos spool faster, improves throttle response, and makes the engine feel sharp and aggressive even at low RPM. The trade-off is heat. A hot V concentrates high temperatures in the center of the engine, so cooling and oil quality become absolutely critical for long-term reliability. Now let's talk about how this engine makes its power. The twin turbos compress intake air, and compressed air gets hot, so the engine uses charge air cooling, also known as intercooling, to drop intake temperatures before the air enters the cylinders. Cooler air is denser, which means more oxygen, safer combustion, better power, and less chance of knock. Fuel delivery is handled by a direct injection system. The injectors spray fuel directly into the combustion chamber at very high pressure. Direct injection gives better control under boost, improves torque and helps the engine run strong and clean, but it also brings a common modern downside. Intake valve carbon buildup over time, because fuel doesn't wash the intake valves the same way port injection did. On the road, this engine is famous for one thing: torque. A typical modern G63 produces around 577 horsepower and about 850 Nm of torque in many markets, which is why it can launch hard and pull like a freight train even at mid-range RPM. That torque is matched to AMG's SpeedShift TCT 9-speed transmission, tuned for quick downshifts and massive torque handling, and the whole package is why the G63 feels so fast despite being tall, heavy, and shaped like a brick. Inside the engine, AMG uses a lightweight aluminum block and aluminum cylinder heads, but the internals are engineered to survive boost pressure and heat. Strong pistons, robust rods, a tough crank, and carefully designed oil flow to protect critical parts. Lubrication is a big deal here because turbochargers rely on oil for bearing protection, and the engine also uses oil pressure to support timing components and high-load operation. If you treat the oil like an afterthought, you shorten the life of the turbos and the engine's top-end components. Cooling is the second life support system. The G63 runs multiple cooling circuits for the engine and charge air, and depending on the market and model year, it may also have extra cooling capacity for drivetrain heat. Now, if your G63 is an older model from roughly 2013 to 2018, it may use the M157 5.5-liter twin-turbo V8 instead. That engine is also a beast. Bigger displacement, different turbo packaging, and a slightly different character. But the modern G63 experience that most people talk about today is the M177 4.0 hot V engine. So what are the common weak points and real-world ownership notes? First, heat management. Hard driving and shutting the engine off immediately can cook oil in the turbo area over time, so a good habit is a gentle cool-down drive before parking if you've been pushing it. Second, oil leaks or seepage can show up as the vehicle ages. Gaskets, seals, or turbo oil lines can eventually need attention. Third, direct injection carbon buildup can lead to rough idle or misfires on higher mileage engines if maintenance is ignored. Fourth, spark plugs and ignition components often wear faster than normal cars because the engine runs high boost and high heat. Staying on schedule matters. If you want this engine to stay strong, the best routine is simple. Always use the correct high-quality oil to the proper AMG spec. Change it on time. Many owners prefer shorter intervals than the maximum recommended. Use high-octane fuel, warm the engine gently before full throttle, and keep the cooling system healthy. When maintained properly, the G63 engine delivers that signature AMG feeling. Instant torque, a deep V8 punch, and supercar-like acceleration in a luxury off-road body, and that's exactly why the G63 has become one of the most iconic performance SUVs in the world.